This presentation will show how to use the data and information from the address book to automate the posting and evaluation of documentation and research estimates and generate proposals for geometrics, survey requests, and make proposals. This function is the posting of requests found on the West app right here, and here is the address book, and this is where we're going to put. Now, when we go over to the address book itself, we're going to click open the book and show the short version. The all version was for loading it from the database. Now we're going to select a few of the customers that are in the address book to illustrate the information. And we're opening them now. Now here's the data for that company that was in. That could have been input from basically the, and you can make corrections to it at this time, but this was put in by spreadsheet or from another database. Now we're going to look at another one, which get the idea across. And you can see here is another company. Now you'll notice there's a next and previous, so you can scan through them as you go, and we're going to illustrate that now. We're going back to the one before. And you'll see that we're back to Dan's company, and we're back here to another company. Now, this information here from the database will be automatically inputted into the, and we're going to go ahead and put it here, and we're going to put up one that was previously posted for illustrations purposes. Now we're going to select, and we saw this company in the address book, and that same information now is automatically put over into the workflow, so it can be updated this time. Now this is the workflow, and the first one here is the selecting of a customer, and you can see that there's Armstrong as it was. We won't change that now. Now we'll go a little bit further. We're going to now have the tasks assignments. And that is the job we want. Now, if we change that, as you see here's a list, the workflow would change, but we're going to leave it on workflow 4. Now, interesting thing is when we post it in on the actual service, all this information will be transmitted over to the next one, but that won't be covered today. Now, here's the project data, and this is a site location that was already inputted. You would input this information if it was coming in fresh. This is that time. Then that site information, we'll go first here. We'll get there. This is the project ID. This is, so everybody know which company it was and where it was at. It's all part of the automation. Now we're going to go and look at the requirement. Now this requirement is something that you'll input from your RFQ. You can upload it, and when you click Save, it will stay. As illustrated here, we're going to pull up a document from the computer that was in there. Then we're going to go ahead and select it. And we're going to right now go to the right directory. And we're almost there. It's in the documents. Everyone has it placed in someplace else. We're going to have and looking for documents to download. There we are up there. And now we're going to open that. Now, any one of these documents that have been loaded in your computer, and possibly this was sent by email from your customer, we'll get there. And now that we have selected it, we'll click Save. And then that document will be added to the requirement. We're trying to give you the feel of what it is like. We're also going to an optional proposal after the posting. This is the site map. We're actually using Google Maps for this. Now the address you put in over on the workflow earlier, and you can see the address is repeated. Now we're going to go down, and we're going to go down and put it to satellite. There's the address automatically put in there by Google. Now we want to get in a little tighter and see a bit more. And let's go to satellite mode. Now this can be done from the main menu as well, so that people can come in and check at any time that particular address and where it's at and get details. Now we can go in much closer than we're going to illustrate now. And if you're familiar with Google Maps, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, you can see the address, and if it's on a busy street, you'll also see where you can actually see the house. But that's here in Orchid, and it's very, there's not many people looking at it there. It's quite a nice thing. Well, we're going to go to the next step. By going to the next step, it's going to remove some of the green and make it like it hadn't happened before. That's what happens on update. Now this customer information came from the database, but you can update and make changes to it at this time. However, you'll still have to go back and make changes to it in the database. It's only a one-way trip. Now we're going to go back to the workflow, and as I said before, you'll see that the information changed, so it's yellow saying it is pending. So now we have that, and now we'll hit the next step, and it starts turning green again. This is so management can see the progress with the workflow at any time. We selected Intellect for this process. This is the contact person. It is automatically providing you that information, but you can change it at that time. And now we have the posting status. If it were coming in the first time, you would put in the date. The little green thing down below is. Now that completes this portion of posting. However, what we're going to now is to show you the optional detailed proposal. Now you can see here, see the 4, that's because it was 4. So we go to this interface 4. Now we're going to go in and look at the elements of an estimate and a proposal. Now you see, first one, we'll look at the estimate input. Now this is a list, and this list now has been done before, but you could make changes to it this time. And when you click Save, it will calculate, so it goes into the next thing, which is the table. But you can see that this table, by the way, goes over into the actual service module, which was covered under a different proposal. So everything is automated to make it easy for the user. Now see at the top, right here, we've got the totals. And you'll also notice they're down in the table itself. And those tables we're going to show off. Now this is a proposal draft. Now that logo is changed according to the customer, and so is the signature. But here's the pricing, all the information is there. You can change that information, by the way, if you want. You can change the address, you can change the introduction, you could change anything you need to in there to reflect a special case. There's a default that comes up that is set for the program, but you may change that also, so it will change all the time. Now here's the actual proposal that you'll print, and if you print, well, we won't do it at this time, but if you hit print up here, you can actually print a PDF of it and email it to the customer. Now we're going to illustrate showing a detailed proposal, and you'll note that a lot of the other information is missing, but the essentials of the price is there. So it's meant to be a 2-page proposal. This is done so that they'll all be on one page. Now that we've done that, we're going to go and look at the status. Now, status is, of course, is when you sent the proposal, and it'll turn green when you say that it has, and who did the proposal. Basically, this is going to conclude it. We're going back to the dashboard, and I want to thank you for your time. Here.